Hey everyone, welcome back to BRAP. It's Friday, June 6th, 2025. Today officially starts Summer Games Fest. Summer Game Fest. Or is it Games Fest?
I think
Summer Game Fest.
Yeah.
WNBC. I don't know. Anyhow, welcome back to the show, everyone. Please do me a quick favor, hit that like button. And I want to welcome Doomsayer back to the show. What's going on, Doomsayer?
Not much, man. I just enjoyed the Summer Games Fest show and some very interesting and
I like.
pretty good games. I'm very interested in. So
Cool.
Yeah, we'll definitely talk about that.
Yeah, it's good stuff, man. Yeah, there's definitely a lot to talk about. Summer Games Fest, Summer Game Fest. Keep saying games because there are games, a lot of games. Summer Game Fest, and then the State of Play was also this week for PlayStation.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Yeah, I didn't get a chance to catch it live because of work, but I did read the announcements and everything. And then the Nintendo Switch 2 launched yesterday, as a matter of fact. So,
did you get one?
No, I did not get one. I just didn't have time. I wanted to get one, but I missed the pre-order. Didn't have time. Work just been kicking my ass. It's been busy. I haven't had a lot of time to play video games. Like when I do, it's probably been like late at night, like after 10:30, and I probably play for like 30 minutes and then get tired. But I'm still playing Clair Obscure Expedition 33 on PlayStation. My second playthrough of the game. I completed on Xbox and then or Xbox Game Pass, I should say. And then bought it for PlayStation 5. So
nice.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite games of the gen. It's really good. I really the second playthrough, I'm definitely running through it much quicker than the first time playing because I know the enemy time, I know how to time different enemies in terms of parrying the enemies and stuff. So it's much easier. I probably should kick it up a notch in terms of difficulty, but I'm just enjoying it, So
is it more like a Souls game or what was it, turn-based or something like that?
Yeah, it's kind of a combination of Souls, Persona games, Persona 5, those turn-based JRPG type games, and the Souls-like elements. But it's a really good game. I mean, I think when you're trying to mold different design styles together, like those things aren't always executed well, and they stuck the landing here.
Okay.
They really the inventory management system, the leveling up system, parrying. I mean, it's all pretty easy to navigate, manage. At least in my opinion, it is compared to other games I've played. And the story, the voice acting, combat. I mean, just a great game.
Here it says it has difficulty settings. I might have to try it. I'm like one of those horrible players that has to play it on easy first in order to get the rhythm and everything else, and then I notch it up after I beat it. So I'm gonna have to give this a try.
Yeah, no, you can play it like on. There's a story mode setting, right? If you just want to focus on the story.
Okay.
Then there's like kind of there's story and difficulty, kind of like that middle ground, and then there's like difficulty, like really hard, right? So, okay. Yeah, but Nate says everyone should play Expedition 33. Yeah, I don't disagree with that, Nate. I think it's a really good game. I mean, it's some of the parrying counters, the animations to those counters are really, really cool to see. So
Nate, I'm going to sit there and agree or disagree with you. Not everybody should. And I'm one of those persons that probably won't be able to play it because I probably suck at it. I mean, I'm getting really bad when it comes to first-person shooters, and I used to be really good with first-person shooters.
I don't even touch them anymore, man. My reaction time is just not as good as it used to be.
Oh, my God, yeah. Mine is, listen, my son's 9 and he kicks the hell out of he kicks my ass on like Apex and that. It's like, I can't I can't keep up with him. And it's just the twitchiness and everything. It's like, nah, I gave up. I put it on the easiest settings and then just I like to trying to enjoy the story as much as possible. So
Yeah, no, I hear you, man. I hear you. But like I said, there aren't many games that I'll run through like a second playthrough. You know, very few games. I mean, the ones that I can think off the top of my head are like Witcher 3, Cyberpunk 2077. These are more recent ones. What else? Baldur's Gate 3. I've done like I'm on my 4th playthrough with that. I've beat it 3 times.
damn.
Yeah, oh, I love Baldur's Gate 3. It's so good.
You're like me with Last of Us. I played Last of Us like 8 times the story thing. And I'm going to go back and play it again because I played it 8 times on the PS4 version, but I want to go back and do it on the PS3, and then I want to do the PS5 version of it. So, but yeah, well, listen, if you love a game in that, I sat there and I've said this before. My buddy that I'm going to see tomorrow night, he is a huge Castlevania fan. Every October, he goes back and he plays all of the Castlevania games for the month of October. Every October because he just loves them. So if you love a game, oh man, I mean, keep playing it and play it as many times as you want. Don't let anybody ever, tell you not to. Especially Twitter.
Yeah, don't listen to them.
Yeah, Game Logic has been helping me with my mental health lately.
Well, that's good because he's actually here right now.
Yeah.
What's going on, Logic?
Much, man. How are you guys?
Doing good, doing well. Can't complain. Talking about Expedition 33 again. do say actually Last of Us Part 1. I think I've played that twice. And oh crap, what else did I play? Last of Us Part 1 I played twice. Oh, Sekiro I've played twice.
Oh, that's another one.
Yeah.
How difficult is that though?
That's difficult.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Damn.
That's not an easy game. It's I love it. I love Sekiro. The parrying system, just the yeah, it's just good. But it's not easy. Like there are some bosses there, optional bosses that are like really hard. Demon of Hatred is one optional boss. I'll never forget. I was streaming live and it took me a couple times.
See, I'm definitely willing to try anything. So I will definitely give these games a try. Innate and Hero, I will definitely pick up Expedition, and I will definitely give it a try. Just not right now, but maybe in a month or two or something like that when I get, because I'm trying to get a lot of my I'm going through my trophy stuff and just trying to clean up a bunch of stuff. But I will definitely get it, and I will let you guys know how bad I am at it. But I will accomplish probably beating it.
I think you'll be okay.
The only game that I can't beat is Cuphead. And how my 9-year-old beat that game, forget it.
Cuphead's not easy.
No. Oh my god.
Like I played it and I was like, okay, I'm not doing this.
Well, here you played Ori. But you played both Oris, correct?
But Ori wasn't like Cuphead difficult.
No. But in the first one, there was that where you're upside down and then you got to go around and it keeps turning you different directions. You're either upside down or you're down on the floor. And man, that oh my god, that killed me. I finally beat it, but that was a little bit of a difficult game for me. So I loved it though. One of the best looking games I've ever seen.
What, Ori? Yeah.
Yeah.
Ori's a beautiful game.
The coloring and everything in that
music.
game. Oh my god, yes.
Yeah, it's a beautiful game. Great game. I mean, just fantastic.
I hope those games come to PlayStation. Probably not, but I hope they would.
Yeah, and Nate says, I'm not a fan of difficult games for the sake of being difficult. Yeah, no. Some Souls fans are, though.
Hey, I give you guys credit for beating those games, man.
Yeah. Have you played, speaking of Souls, have you played Bloodborne?
I tried it, and didn't get past the werewolf, the very first. I kept on dying, and I'm like, I got to figure this game out. And I have not gone back.
You're talking about the first boss,
the very first boss
on the bridge. What the hell's his name?
I couldn't get past him, and I'm like,
something beast. Man, that's an easy one, Doomsayer. I'm just messing with you.
That's what I mean. It's easy for you, but me, it's like horrible in that. See, if you would be sitting there going like I do with my son, if he's playing like Uncharted, it's like, well, dude, what are you doing? Just look at the the way the scenery is. There's like yellow. That's where you want to go when you can't find out. You'll be like, well, how the hell can you not beat this boss? It's like the easiest boss of the game. I can't do it. I will try.
You don't have the power.
No, I don't, man.
Yeah, no, I hear you.
I got to get good.
What's that?
I got to get good.
Yeah. So, all right, and I know Logic. You did not get a Nintendo Switch 2, or maybe you did today. Are you still? Did you end up picking one up, or no?
Yeah, I got a Nintendo Switch 2 on launch day.
Oh, so were you trying to get another one? Or no, so you did get one because you said you weren't waiting in line or something. And
well, I didn't say I wasn't waiting in line. I told you lines were long in Hamp, and Hamp don't like to wait in lines.
Oh, well, I took that as Hamp just left.
Hey, look, Tayakuchi-san or Tayakuchi, I don't know if I'm pronouncing his name right, but the Capcom guy, he and I were syncing up on strategies this week. So I gave you that same little 20-minute delay of claiming that something didn't happen and then telling you a few minutes later that it did.
I see what you did there. All right, so you got the Nintendo Switch too. So, yeah, what do you think so far, Logic?
To be quite honest, I really don't know. I haven't had a chance to play it. So I picked mine up at the midnight launch. Mm-hmm. I got home, hooked it up.
You went midnight launch. There were a lot of people there then, huh, for the midnight launch?
I live in a small town, so no, not really. So yeah, I picked mine up, got it home, got it all hooked up, signed in, logged into my account, did the update, and then queued up, a bunch of games to download. So that was about the extent of it, and then I just didn't get time. I played games yesterday, but I didn't play on the Switch 2. And then I've been catching up and watching all the shows today. So I just haven't had a chance to get it. I did go to the eShop and buy Bravely Default HD Remaster. So
nice.
Yeah, I'll be looking forward to playing that.
What's wild is Cyberpunk 2077 is on the Switch too.
It is, but I have that game on PC, and if I need to play it in portable format, I can play it on my Steam Deck. So, but it's super interesting because I was a little chapped about when I got mine, and I mentioned to somebody, maybe in my own Discord or something. I said, I don't think anybody's really particularly bothered by not having hardware reviews of the unit itself on day one. But it is bothersome that there aren't game reviews on day one. Right. But then I kind of stewed on that for like a day. And then I said, you're old. Like, you remember the times when we used to just buy games without seeing reviews. Right.
Bro. We used to buy games just looking at the box art in the back of the screenshots of the game on the back of the box.
Right. And even then when games like reviews started showing up in magazines, we were just kind of like, I'll buy it on like everything that I've read about it in the magazine up till now. Or, if you were the person to wait for reviews, that meant you were waiting for a month to play the game. But, there was this time when we bought games without seeing reviews. So I went to the launch list and I said, I'm going to pick 3 games that, I really think that I want to buy no matter what. And so Bravely Default was one of them. And then I want to pick up Fast Fusion as well. That one's only like $15. And then I think I'm going to pick up Kunitsugami, which was kind of a surprise game that showed up in the Xbox showcase last summer. And it wound up, I think, sticking the landing pretty well when it came out last fall. It is now on Switch too, so
it did,
I think I'm gonna
actually
pick that one up.
Reviews are pretty positive on that.
Yeah.
Did you pick up Mario Kart World?
I did not. No, I don't play Mario Kart online. This move for me probably means that, as we go into the fall, because this has been my big conundrum for the year, is what am I going to do for my kids right later in the year, because they've been asking to get into something with greater fidelity from a gaming perspective, and I was going to move them to iPads, because I wasn't necessarily sold on the Switch 2, like from the Direct and all that. But I am probably going to move in that direction for the year. So once I get them sorted out, then there will be a point in me having Mario Kart. Other than that, I don't really think, I had Mario Kart 8 on the original Switch, and it's just not really for somebody like me who plays like Sims, like a kart racer is just not my thing.
Yeah, no, I hear you, man. I hear you. You talk about your kids wanting higher fidelity gaming experiences.
Yeah.
I was told something different, but I don't know. I guess everyone,
Yeah, I mean, there are a lot of narratives out there for the purposes of brand repping, but I'm like to stick close to objective reporting on the games industry. So, my own experiences, my kids are getting tired of their Amazon Kindle Fires, and I am getting tired of them from a sysadmin perspective also. They're a total pain in the butt to administer and to do parental controls on. And I really want to move them in another direction. So they really want to get off of those tablets, but they wanted, when they said, well, when we get off of these tablets, we want something that we can game on, and that provides a better gaming experience than the Kindle Fire.
Yeah.
And so, like I said, I was going to hook them up with the iPads for Apple Arcade, but now I'll probably move them into the Switch ecosystem.
Yeah, it's funny. So my kids had Amazon Fire tablets for gaming, even had like the Leapfrogs from back in the days. I don't know if they still make those. But because of having older siblings, once they saw like that there were better gaming experiences out there, like better fidelity, they just didn't have anything to do with the Amazon Fire tablets anymore. Like we don't want that. Like we want, and actually my sons, my daughter primarily plays Nintendo Switch. My sons are primarily on PC now, and a little bit of console, and they really gravitate more towards PC. So
yeah, I mean, we've not say we've been over this before, but I mean we have the data that shows. I mean, when I asked this question on Twitter, I said, so where is the has anybody seen the empirical data that says that younger generations won't buy consoles or won't care about higher fidelity gaming? And nobody had an answer for that. And the one person who did try to answer, Italian Clowns, gave me a bunch of data that had nothing to do with the question that I asked. So, when somebody can show me empirical data that tells me 20-year-olds and even teens, when they get jobs, don't buy consoles, or and even don't buy gaming PCs, then I'll accept that as potential analytical indication, at least that theorem has some data behind it. But as of yet, I have not seen that.
Sorry, BRAP.
Yeah, I was gonna say real quick, the ESA does have that survey that came out last year. But granted, it's a survey, so you take that, with a little bit of grain of salt. But it did show that the millennials and Gen Y actually played more on consoles, I believe, than Gen X, which was kind of surprising to me. And I think that's something you've shared on Twitter. I've shared in the past before. Mass produced in the chat says, what games are kids playing on PC? I can't speak for all kids, but I know my kids are playing Fortnite, Minecraft. The older ones are playing some of the older, I guess, more mature titles. Actually, one of my kids is playing God of War on PC. My oldest one is, just recently. But the young ones are mostly playing like Fortnite Minecraft, things like that on PC. They just prefer to play it on PC for whatever reason. So, well, for Fortnite, my son likes to play on PC because he's like better frames. So, anyhow, I'm sorry, Tubesayer. Go ahead, man.
No. I was just going to say to Logic, if you can just send me that conversation, I'd love to read that conversation.
Which the one that I was saying,
there.
Yeah, I'll see if I can find it.
Yeah, no, that's a fair ask too, Logic. Like, just show us the empirical data that shows us that, in fact, what you're saying is true. We've talked about a lot on this show that people just often just make up narratives to brand rep. And it's not just fans. There are quite a few influencers, pundits that do the same thing. So
I know he was a big proponent for unions. And when the whole union thing was coming up, was a couple years ago with the Activision thing, and unions are going to be this and that, and they're going to help, and it's like, yeah, they're as of right now, they're really helping with all the layoffs. I don't know where the union's coming in to save these people's jobs and stuff. So, I mean,
yeah, what's interesting? I say it's interesting. I went to my local Walmart. Nintendo Switch 2 sold out that morning. They told me it sold out. But I haven't really been keeping. Have you guys been like watching or keeping up with the restock? I haven't been keeping up. Like I said, work's been crazy, and then there's like summer GameFest and other stuff that's going on now. I kind of feel like a bit that the launch of Nintendo Switch 2 has been drowned out a little bit by game. I just feel like the first Switch there was more chatter about it, and maybe it's because of it being kind of this hybrid, right, between the handheld and home console for Nintendo. They combining both of their lines of business together into one device. Maybe that's why there was probably more, I think, in my opinion, at least more conversation, more maybe excitement over Nintendo, the original Switch and the Switch 2. Not saying there isn't any excitement, but I just feel like this time around, there seems to be less discussion eyes, I guess, on Nintendo Switch 2 than the first Nintendo Switch. But yeah, I haven't really. I meant to check to see like Best Buy, see if you could buy them online if they were in stock. But I know my local Walmart, because I was there again today. I had to pick something up quickly before the show, but they were still out of stock. But they had like the Switch 2 signs like in the entrance of the store. A lot of the shelving space where the space Xbox used to occupy is now occupied by Nintendo. They actually, in my Walmart, they've moved Xbox to a very small box, if you will, with like limited. I think there's like maybe 3 consoles, limited games, peripherals, stuff, things like that. There's just seem to be more games, peripherals, hardware for Nintendo. Well, not Nintendo. Well, for Nintendo Switch is still there. For Nintendo and PlayStation at my local Walmart. I'm not saying this is true for all Walmarts, just what I'm seeing at my local Walmart.
As for me, Best Buy, Walmart, and the Target that's like right next to us, everything's sold out. You have to. Well, it used to be called a rain check, but you just have to wait. But they're all sold out in my local area. So I haven't checked GameStop though yet. So but that's something I'm gonna wait on it because I barely use my Switch, just the regular Switch. I barely use it right now, so I just constantly play on PlayStation.
Yeah, you're a pony.
Yeah,
I'm joking, but no,
say what you want to say. I've been told a lot worse. Believe me, that's actually a good thing.
So. Oh my goodness. Yeah. I'll for me, I'll eventually get a Nintendo Switch too. I guess I'm just not at least for me personally, I'm not in a mad rush to get it, only because like my gaming time has been so limited because of work and just life stuff, being busy more recently. So but I'm definitely like looking forward to definitely will pick up Mario Kart Worlds. I was listening to another podcast a little bit this morning. They were testing the chat features. It seemed to work pretty well from what they were saying. So I think one of them, there was one of the individuals on the show was saying that they weren't even they didn't even have like a headset. They're just using like the actual device itself to chat, and it worked pretty well. So that was good to hear that that experience, those impressions early on with the Switch too. But yeah, I'll eventually. I don't do say. Is this something that's going to be on your radar? You gonna make the Switch?
Eventually. I'll say maybe next year sometime. When does the Donkey Kong game come out? Is that this year or is that next year?
It's this year. I think it's in October.
Oh shit. I might be buying one this year for Christmas or something like that. Because that's one game. I'm not really too much racers. I cannot. That's another genre I suck at doing. Just ask Retro. He's seen me race, especially with the VR and that, and it is bad. It is like bad. But with Donkey Kong, definitely, I want to pick up Donkey Kong, and then I think it's what is it, $10 or is it $20 for the upgrades for the Zelda games?
Well, if you're not a member of Nintendo Switch Online, and yeah, I looked it up, and Chrono Rig pointed out I was wrong about the release date for Donkey Kong Bonanza. That's actually July 17th.
Oh, well, I'm even more screwed. Shit. I am a member, so I guess that would be $10 then.
Yeah, if you're a member, it's free.
Oh, it's free. Okay, well then I'll just wind up getting it free. But yeah, I'm gonna wait.
Membership has its privileges.
Oh, I've argued this point a lot, and apparently people don't understand that one either.
Well, I think that's isn't that Amex, American Express's slogan? Membership has its privileges. Or was that Visa? I don't know. I don't remember. But that's why I said it. Yeah, Mario Kart right now. So reviews are trickling out. Last I saw, I think it was at 90 Metacritic. I have to pull this up again. Mario Kart Worlds. Hey, Logic, are you gonna do any videos, any like thing like that?
If I do anything, if I do anything, it'll just be in the course of podcasts or gameplay videos.
Okay.
But I mean, I don't have anything specifically scheduled right now. Yeah, Mario Kart World is 90 on Metacritic.
Yeah, I just pulled it up. Yeah, only a couple reviews.
Rune Factory is an 81.
I'm sorry, what's an 81?
Rune Factory.
Okay. Yeah, the reviews are pretty good for Mario Kart. Yeah. What is this Predator animated series? How did I miss this?
Oh, that looks so freaking good.
Killer of Killers? What is happening here? How did I miss this?
Vikings, Ninja Samurais, and I forget what the third one is.
Oh my gosh. Is it coming to Disney or Hulu?
Hulu. Both. You'll be able to watch it through Disney Plus though.
Oh, I might have to. I might.
BRAP between that and then did you see the trailer for Alien Earth?
I don't know.
It just came out. I think it was either yesterday or Wednesday. Check that out. I'm like, oh my god.
Is that the one where like hold on, I don't want to look this up. Alien Earth.
If I'm remembering right, I think this is technically it might be it's after what is it? Prometheus, and then there's Alien whatever the other alien is. I think it's in between that and then Romulus or something like that. Or Alien. But it looks really good. Noah Wiley. Or Howley. Noah Howley is directing it in that. And I think he did the Legion series that was on FX that was really good. So I'm hoping that pans out too. But the Predator
Mhm.
thing looks freaking amazing.
Yeah, the animated. Like it just popped up when I was looking at the Mario Kart World's Metacritic score. Um, what is it? Predator, Killer of Killers. Here we go. There's also another Predator trailer, right? Badlands or something.
Yeah, that's the movie. What was it? Trentenberg or somebody that directed Prey. He's bringing out this one, and if you actually watch the trailer on this one, I was told that the Predator that you see is actually a female Predator, and then there's a human being there. But if you look really closely, you can see that Whalen Industries is on her coat, and she's a she's a robot or whatever. But between him and then oh god, the guy who directed Alien Romulus, they're trying to get together to do an Alien vs Predator movie again. So I'd love to see how that's going to turn out.
Wow. Yeah, I'm watching this Killer of Killers trailer again. I gotta watch this. Yeah, I remember seeing the Badlands trailer. Yeah. Is this kind of like an origin story for the Predators? Badlands, or do we know? Because it kind of looks like it. Because I'm just watching it right now, but I don't know. I
don't know when the hell that takes place. I know it's way after Prey, but yeah, I'm not too sure.
All right. Well, I'm definitely interested in it.
Yeah, I think that comes out next month or August or something. The Killers of Killers.
Oh, I can't wait. I'm definitely going to watch it. I mean, like, you know, Predator was like, I think I was 10 when the first Predator movie came out with Arnold.
The weird thing is I just watched Predator 2 the other night because I watched Prey. And then when you sit there and you watch Predator 2, my buddy had to point this out. He's like, yo, he says, you know, in Predator 2, the gun that the Predator hands Danny Glover, he says, you know, that's in Prey. I'm like, wait a minute, what? And then I'm sitting there watching. I'm like, oh my God, yeah.
Oh, that old pistol.
Yeah. That's the same gun that was in Predator 2. Yeah. I'm like, what? Get the hell out of here. Him and I go back and forth on point now. I'm like, yo, did you check this out? I've never seen that.
And I haven't even watched Prey yet. So I need to watch Prey because I haven't watched it yet.
BRAP, you won't be disappointed.
Go to the chopper now.
There are a couple of lines that they took from the original Predator and they put it into.
Is one of them go to the chopper?
No, but I'll tell you, the one guy sits there and he goes, if it bleeds, we can kill it. So it's like, geez, can you be a little bit more cornier?
Oh my God.
It's the same thing with Alien.
No, go to the chopper. No. Go now.
Noof is pretty good with that Arnold.
Go. Go now, Mark. No, Mark. Go now. I'm sorry. All right. Yeah, I got to check Prey out. I've always enjoyed the Predator Alien movie, so I feel like Alien vs Predator. I thought that was good too.
I went to the theater and saw that 3 times.
Jeez. Yeah, because that was the one where like I forget the actress's name. She kills one of the xenomorphs, and like the Predator like takes like the acid from the dead alien and like marks her face, like basically like almost like, yeah, you're one of us now, like you're a hunter.
Yeah, he takes the tail of the alien, cuts it off, he makes kind of like a spear out of it, and that's her weapon.
That's what it was. Yeah.
Like, kind of like a T or something that he puts on her cheek or whatever, but yeah.
Yep. Oh man. I gotta do some binging of like Alien Predators now.
If you got Disney Plus, man, they're all on there.
Are they really? Even Prey?
Prey is exclusive to Hulu, but you can still watch it on Disney Plus. And then everything else, all the Predator movies on there, the Alien movies are on there. Bless says both Alien versus Predator films were bad. The second one was really bad. The first one was okay. It had a decent concept to it.
I didn't like Predator 2, but
it did. Yeah, it was like, yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I just really, yeah. Anyhow, enough on the Predator Alien side, because I know people were like, "What do you talk about games?"
There is an Alien vs Predator video game, just to let you guys know that it's in the chat. There is one that was on the 360 and the PS3. So
never played
it. Was actually a very good game, I thought.
All right. We had a state of play this Wednesday. It's past June 4th. Now, I didn't get a chance to watch it. Did you guys get a chance to watch the state of play?
Yeah, I watched it.
Yeah. What are your impressions, Logic?
I came away with it with 9 out of the 23 games that were shown that I'm interested in.
Nice. Okay. Any particular order? Like, is there anything that really is like, okay, this is like the top game that I want?
I haven't like ranked them, but Final Fantasy Tactics: The Evilise Chronicles is definitely like a day one. 007 First Light is highly likely to be a day one. Marvel Tokon Fighting Souls, I'm very big on. Really excited about Pragmata. I think Genki on Twitter just mentioned that, and I retweeted it, that the Capcom lineup for 2026 is pretty amazing. Now, I know Pragmata has, I don't know if it's been in development hell, but it's been very uncertain on like when that game is supposed to arrive. So I'm pretty sure in the show they said it was 2026. So, but I mean, visually it just has kind of a lot of style that evokes everything from Death Stranding to Stellar Blade to First Descendant, kind of everything that's kind of been in vogue the last few years. I haven't pulled the thread on it, but I suspect that it's a Unreal Engine 5 game. And it's hard for me to tell if we've moved to the point in the timeline where that is no longer an indicator that something is likely to have performance problems. But it is super interesting. I do not like, as a like general thing, I do not like escort games. But this one has an interesting presentation, so it'll be interesting to see if it sticks the landing. And the one that I'm interested in is as well is Tides of Tomorrow, which just seems to offer a pretty innovative take on gaming, innovative-ish. I think it's playing with a lot of the ideas that came about with Death Stranding, which was, what is the tagline for Death Stranding? That it's like the world's offline social game. Because of the way that you interact with other players without actually ever like interacting with them directly. So it seems like it's playing on a lot of those notions where, where players have passed before and done things, that the repercussions of what they've done will be injected into your gameplay. Like the one that sticks out at me was this one scene where a previous player had taken somebody and like thrown them in the water. And then when you come by, like that person is obviously hurt and injured and is asking you for help, right? Because of whatever injuries they suffered from the previous person. So that is one that stuck out at me. I think the biggest thing from the state of play, and I know that there will be some people who won't agree, but I felt like a lot of the games that were presented were not. They were all different, right? They all had slightly different, visual presentations, and they all had slightly different takes on genres, and they were all kind of stretching the bounds of, things that had come before, even if they were just kind of remixing, past ideas from, 2 or 3 other games. But there was a lot of variety, I felt like, in this state of play.
Well,
So those were the things that was my top 5, right, out of the 9 total. I'll mention Romeo is a Dead Man as well, and which is a Suda 51 game, which has a lot of his past visual presentation styles and kind of ultra violence approach to it. But one thing he mentioned that was interesting to me is he said, and as you go through the course of this game, you're gonna explore certain story elements, like who is Romeo and what is Romeo. And I thought that was it seemed to indicate like there's going to be a more story driven hook, right, that his past games have provided, into kind of what is the actual story behind this character. So that seemed interesting, and it's something I want to keep my eye on.
Yeah, I think to your point about just the variety of games shown, and I'm just kind of going through some of the trailers here, just looking at some of these thumbnails. You're getting games from like Neo 3, right? And then you get like a Ninja Gaiden, which was already announced. Then you get like a Mortal Kombat, Metal Gear Solid, Token Fighting Souls. We get James Bond. I mean, right here, First Light was announced. And then I forget the Romeo. Is it Must Die? Is that the name of the game you're just talking about?
Romeo is a Dead Man.
Romeo is a Dead Man. Yeah. So that kind of game. I think to your point, I think you're right. Like so you are right. I mean, there's a lot of variety here. And it's interesting you bring that point up, Logic, because I think we were kind of talking about this where they showed off the fighting sticks and people are like, who asked for that? Well, Sony does run Evo. They have a pretty heavy presence in the fighting scene, in that genre. But yeah, I agree 110%. Like I think that just based on some of the thumbnails, I'm looking at some of the games you described, that it's almost like they have maybe something for everyone, or different types of styles for different types of gamers. There was another game that I saw that I thought was interesting. They showed Ghost of Yotei. This is the one that I saw. Is it Karen? I thought this one looked kind of interesting. But yeah, no, I again, I didn't get a chance to watch the show live, but I'm just looking at some of these thumbnails and just glossing over some of these trailers quickly. But yeah, like I said, I agree with you 110%, Logic. I think a little bit of something for everyone here, different tastes, different style of games. And kind of like, we'll talk about Summer Game Fest, but I think what's cool about some of these shows and what I've seen recently is that just a variety of games that are being shown. And I don't know if that's talked about enough or talked about a lot, where, as gamers, and just the art form of gaming, there's so much nice variety, so much creativity. And I forget sometimes because, I tend to play mostly AAA games, but I do appreciate some of the more creative or different takes on different types of genres of games that we see in some of these shows. Doomsayer, what did you watch the showcase, the PlayStation State of Play? If you did, what were your initial impressions?
I did, and just like I've sat there and I've said on Twitter and everywhere else, I gave it a 10 out of 10. If you're a gamer, you like playing games, I mean, every showcase, in my opinion, should be a 10 out of 10, just because it's showing you a plethora of games and everything. Some of the games that I'm interested in, Logic already sat there and basically talked about every single one that I was interested in. Baby Steps, something just totally goofy and off the wall and that kind of thing. It's one of those, indie AA games. I seriously want to try that out. Pragmata, I'm not a huge anime guy, but the Romeo Must Die thing, I was like, yo, I gotta check that thing out.
So I hate to be that guy, but I'm gonna try and stamp out the Romeo Must Die. Romeo Must Die is if I'm not mistaken, it's a movie with that had Aaliyah and Jet Li in it,
and DMX
yes.
Too. Yes.
So I want to try and nip that in the bud really early.
Logic. Romeo is a dead man. I actually just pulled it up. Romeo is a dead man. But I'm sitting there and I'm watching the trailer. I'm like, what the hell is this? And then it starts getting into it. I'm like, oh shit, this actually looks really good and everything. Yeah, Pragmata, the 007 game. I was like, oh man, I gotta play that. That looked really good. That and Silent Hill F. I'm a huge horror fan and everything, and that looked really good too. So, everything that I saw, the Astrobot stuff, I haven't played that from last year, but with all the
Astrobot's really good.
I played the one that came with the PlayStation and enjoyed the hell out of it. So I'm looking forward to playing that. But
yeah, Astrobot's a really good game. Yeah, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No. I totally agree with you, Brad. It's just, if you like games, I mean, you got all weekend. You're going to be everybody's going to be showing you games, and just pick out the ones that you like and go play them, man. There's a ton of them coming out. Oh my God. Especially with what came out today. Jesus, man.
So I am gonna disagree with you, Doom, just on the notion of, at least for me, like I said, I don't score showcases and shows anymore because I think that's kind of reductive. But since you mentioned it, I personally wouldn't see the show as a 10 out of 10. Like, I'm not going to put all the eggs in the basket of no first party and be entirely dismissive of the show because there wasn't any. But I do want to say this is not comparative to, the E3 or not E3 or whatever that we got, Ghost of Tsushima and TLU 2, right?
Yeah.
And those things not being addressed are going to hit people, a certain way. I don't think it's a reason that people should say.
Logic.
I was going to bring that up. I was going to bring up first party stuff, but go ahead, gentlemen.
Logic. I know. You and I talked about this on our whatever the hell it is, the app that we talk about, and I've been sitting there telling you guys what the hell's going on. There's a gentleman I know, BRAP, for a fact. You know BitCloud. But he was sitting there and he was upset that they didn't show anything from Ghost of Yotai. And he's like, I don't understand why you would put something like that in there and tease us. And I'm sitting there like, well, that's what it is. It's a teaser to get you to tune in July to watch what's going on. And then he started going on about, well, they're going to give too much and you're already going to know what's going on. And It's like, dude.
So don't watch it.
See, I totally understand what you're saying, Logic. I just sit there and say, if you just like games, and you pointed it out, you and Brad pointed out, it just looked like there was something there for everybody. And I've just heard too much on Twitter and everything. It's like, well, they didn't have anything there for me. Well, the state of play didn't say state of play for so-and-so. It's a state of play for everybody. And then it was arguing about, well, this was a showcase. No, a showcase is different than a state of play. A state of play is they're giving you updates and things like that. A showcase, they show you first party, among other things. It's irritating. It's just like you said there, Brad. If you don't watch it.
I'm with you that there's, in my opinion, there's far too much grousing about the absence of first party. And like I said, I wouldn't take it as, well, the show should be entirely dismissed because there's no. I'm just saying the truth for me is somewhere in between. Like there's no way I would call the show a 10 out of 10 for me personally. But I also don't feel like the show was a failure, right? Because there was no first party.
Well, I think that's often the opinion of some people, right? And I wanted to talk about the first party thing because, like, for me, like as somebody who, clearly I buy PlayStations for first party primarily. Like Ghost of Yotai was there. Yeah, we've already seen Ghost of Yotai. Okay, so I'm not as I forgot the person you're talking about, Doomsayer. I'm not as upset or I can't believe they they tease this, or why do they I'm just like, okay, it's a thing, right? Like they showed it. We're gonna get a showcase in July. I'm not surprised it's getting a dedicated showcase. It's a Sony first party games, they typically do. Um, but but there's a part of me that like, yeah, like I'm a little disappointed that they didn't show anything first party. I'd like to see and something new first party, I should say, because they technically Ghost of Yotei is a first party game, but no, I mean, like there is a part of me that's like, yeah, that's a bit disappointing. But I think to Logic's point, like I'm not gonna be completely dismissive of the show because it didn't have first party content. Like just off the cuff, looking at some of these trailers, Neo 3 would be something I'm interested in. Final Fantasy Tactics, although as much as I say I'm interested in it because I love Final Fantasy, I probably won't get to it. The James Bond trailer looked good. That piqued my interest. Got Metal Gear Solid Snake Eater.
Oh, that was another one. Yeah.
Yeah. What else? I feel like the Astrobot, Ninja Gaiden. I mean, Ragebound. I mean, that was revealed, I think, at the previous Xbox event. But look, I'm a big Ninja Gaiden fan. Love the series. I'm looking to Ragebound.
The whole Mortal Kombat thing. I mean,
Mortal Kombat.
That, and then you sit there, and if you want to, and you have PlayStation Premium, you get to sit there and play the original Resident Evil 2, the original Resident Evil 3, Twisted Metal 3 and 4, Deus Ex. You get to play those older games if you want to, which, do it, whatever you guys want to do in that. But it's like the whole, and BRAP and Logic, I totally agree with you. I seriously do think that Sony needs to do a showcase to let everybody know, hey, at least say we're still working on this stuff. Here's a little bit of this, just to calm the waters down and that kind of thing. And then just go off and do your thing. And then just, give us the games when you're good and ready and everything. It's just that people getting upset about it. It's like
Bloodstain looks interesting too, by the way. Bloodstain, the Scarlet Engagement looks interesting.
Yeah, that
like that 2D side scroller Castlevania ish. Yeah, I'm digging it. Yeah, go ahead. Finish your thought there, Doomsayer.
Oh, I'm sitting here watching the trailer.
Yeah, I'm looking like. I get like whether or not I get to this game, like I may or may not, but I probably won't. But again, like, but this is something that like I'm like, okay, this looks cool. Like if I had time, I could see myself playing this.
See, I know Logic is not like a trailer kind of guy, and I'm totally opposite. I love watching trailers. I used to sit there and just watch movie trailers like all night, just to keep picking up ones on YouTube and everything. So actually, I still do it. It's just a stupid thing. But I did want to sit there and say this, Brad. It was also brought up about Wolverine. Where's Wolverine? Which I'd like to know too. Is there anything going on? But then I heard that Wolverine is in a bad state because of the alpha, and apparently sources that this person has is telling him it's in a bad state. And then I asked my source, and he said, no, it's fine. It's perfectly fine. And it's like, my God, man, why? This person has taken the way of some of these great content creators and making shit up. Is all I got to say.
Well, I think I probably know who you're talking about.
He used to be on the show too.
So yeah, I don't, back to the Sony first party. Like again, I'd like to see some Sony first party stuff. I guess for me, and I'm not as like I don't have to see Wolverine right now. Like I'd love to see it, like an update. But I know there's some folks out there that are like, oh, they didn't show Wolverine again. This show sucked. I just don't have that perspective.
It's just like somebody that I follow. They sat there and said, I haven't seen a good state of play in 5 years. and the last 5 state of plays were not good. And I'm like, but if you like playing games, how could you? I don't understand that statement. I don't.
Unless maybe you're only playing, the first party stuff, and that's all you consume. But I just don't think we're ever going to get like that E3 where it was like, I forget what it was. It was like God of War, The Last of Us. I forget what E3 it was. I don't think we're ever
that was 2000. That was 2009. I know exactly what you're talking about. They had
no. There was a 2000 with Sean Lady where he didn't even talk. He didn't even speak. He was just out there on the stage. It was like,
I missed that one then.
That's when they had the flute guy. Remember Ghost of Tsushima?
Was that 2016?
That I don't remember. Maybe it was 2016.
The best one that I ever watched, 2009, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 was on there. That's when, you were sitting there and you're watching, I forget who it was, Jason West, and he had the heart monitor on. I'm like, wait a minute. Wait, what? Did they seriously steal that from Aliens? The heart monitor, and they're going around. Then you had God of War 3. You had BioShock. There were so many freaking games. I was like, oh my, I don't know how the hell I'm going to afford this. Oh, T-Rock says 2016, but the flute guy was 2018. And God of War was 2016. Okay.
Yeah, I just don't. I don't know. I just feel like that ship has sailed. I don't think we'll get like reveals like that again. I could be wrong, but I just don't see it. It'd be great, but I just don't see that happening again.
I miss E3. That was one. I always look forward to that.
We have Summer Game Fest now.
It just doesn't feel the same. For me, it just doesn't feel the same.
Oh, 2016. Yeah, that's when Kratos was revealed. That's right. I remember that reveal too. With Kratos. That was a good E3.
That one I did miss. I don't know why I missed it then.
All right. And Sony also announced some new hardware. We talked a little bit about that. Let me find it. We'll scroll down again. Here we go. What's going on here? There we go. Project Defiant wireless fight stick. Looks pretty clean.
Yeah,
I don't know. Are you guys
anyone? It'd be interesting to talk to somebody who's really big in the fighting scene and hear what their thoughts are on the fact that it's wireless, or does the fighting community insist that they be on like a wired fighting stick?
It's funny you bring that point up because, like I've had this thing too, where like I won't play first-person shooters without the controller being plugged in direct connect. So I wonder if that's actually, yeah, that'd be interesting to hear that what the community thinks about that. But it looks like there's like a blue, like a light here, kind of like on the PlayStation 5.
Yeah, I'm sure that's the show when it's actually connected.
Yeah, I think it's I thought it was a good looking joystick or fight stick.
I actually just found out how to change the lights on my controller, so I wonder if you can do the same thing with that.
I don't know, maybe. We shall find out.
Yeah.
All right. So that was the any other thoughts on the state of play?
I'm good.
All right. Give me a sec here. I'm going to pull up
BRAP, I'll be right back in 30 seconds.
Yep. Yeah, sorry, I'm pulling up the Summer Game Fest stuff here. Of course, my computer's running slow for whatever reason. Logic, have you talked to any of the E2KG guys about Summer Game Fest? Just curious about their
not about Summer Game Fest.
Their thoughts. Yeah. Yeah, E3. I don't think E3 is ever going to come back. Logic. I think Keighley's kind of just like Summer Game Fest is it now.
Yeah, and to me, we're getting to the point where it is like E3. So our complaints in the early years were that it was, I don't want to say frustrating, but it was problematic as a content creator because the first few years of Summer Game Fest, things were spread out over June, July, and August. And it's like as soon as you wrapped up coverage on one thing, then there was another thing going on. But the industry has swerved to where now kind of everything is going on this week with some minor exceptions. There's some overlaps, I think, is the thing that's a problem now. I want to say like I think the Death Stranding 2. Wait, that's on Sunday.
Yeah, so the Death Stranding Xbox showcase is on Sunday as well.
Yeah, there's something going on tonight that because it was Summer Games Fest and then Day of the Devs after, and then Devolver Digital and then 007. But then something else got mentioned tonight at Summer Games Fest that was happening tonight, and I'm like, well, that has to by definition be overlapping with something else that's going on. So that's a little bit of a problem, but by and large, we're kind of consolidated and we're getting everything in 1 week. So at least if you've got to change schedules and shuck and jive and hustle and stuff to get coverage done, at least you're doing it all at one time.
Yeah, you are. And you're right. Like before, it's all spread out. It seems like Keighley has almost, I think he's monopolized just the events for games, right? You have the what is it? The Game Awards show, which has become maybe a little bit less awards and more, E3 kind of with reveals and big announcements. And then you have Summer Game Fest now, which is basically, taking the place of E3. Now, I did get a chance, Logic. I did get a chance to watch the whole thing because, of course, work. I did catch some of the reveals. What were some of the games that stood out most to you?
So I'm not sure what the total number of games shown was. I walked away with 7 games that are going on my watch list. Now, my personal feeling about this show is if I were into rating, so there are a few things about this show. I
don't rate shows, by the way, like with a numerical value.
Right,
I don't do that either.
So there was a stark swerving away in this show from AAA and big publisher stuff. And I don't know if that's because big publishers didn't have anything ready. I don't know if...
But would Resident Evil be AAA?
Yes, but I'm talking about in bulk, right?
Oh, in bulk. Okay, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
Whereas in the past few years, it was a chunk of AA indie stuff, but there was like a big AAA game like once every 15 minutes, right? Or once every 10 minutes. This year, there was hardly any. And he kind of opened up the show with that, right? He opened up the show mentioning like it was really calculated, right? He opened up the show and he put up the top, I want to say 6 or 8 selling games so far this year. And he talked about and pointed to specifically how, the number 1 top selling game, and he pulled up the Steam chart, which I thought was also very interesting, right? He didn't talk about consoles. And he said, number 1 was Repo. Number 3 was Schedule 1. And then he also talked about Expedition 33, which I was very happy about because that is the one that got a reaction from the crowd. I actually kind of got a little choked up.
What do you say about Expedition 33?
Just because they were a top selling game and they were from an independent studio.
Yeah. Okay. I see what you're saying. Okay. Gotcha.
and you didn't realize it at the time because, of course, it was the beginning of the show. But that really framed what he was covering during the show.
That makes sense.
So, like I said, I don't know if it was a matter of people didn't give him stuff, but I definitely got the sense that. So in past years, I felt like the big publishers, including the platform owners, right, Nintendo, PlayStation, and Xbox, felt like there was some fealty, right, where they kind of were obligated to give Jeff something. Right, so it seemed like they always kind of reserved something out of their own shows, right, to specifically give up to Keighley. I didn't feel that was the case this year, or just maybe the publishers, the platform owners have decided that, you know, their own shows are their priority. But, or like I said, if it was Keighley saying, hey, I don't, you guys have your own shows, I don't need to use my show to pimp your wares, right? You guys are going to take care of that. I'm going to take care of the indies. So it was just a very deliberate kind of philosophical swerve, it felt like, during the show. That being said, one thing I will say about the show, overall, I didn't feel this show was as good or as exciting as past Summer Game Fest shows, and I felt like a lot of this show was very samey. There were definitely titles that were doing something different, but I felt like so much of the show was an Unreal Engine 5 game that was a third-person action-adventure game
with swords,
yeah, with melee, right?
Yep. Yeah.
I mean, one of my favorite games, Mortal Shell 2, actually had ranged weapons too, but that were very kind of, I won't say Souls-like because I know that upsets people, but were you fighting like very large boss creatures, right?
So I'm sorry, let you. I don't want to lose my thought here, but I want to piggyback off something you just said. As I was watching the show, and that's why I said swords, because I was thinking the same thing as you. Is this just like the industry chasing a trend? Like, okay, like these types of games, those action adventure, third person perspective, swords, Devil May Cry type combat, infused with Souls bosses. You know, like this is the way now, right? This is we Black Myth Wukong. Black Myth Wukong, by the way, is coming to Xbox. God, what other games are like that? I can't think of anything else now. But like, do you think this is kind of a trend now, Logic?
I wonder, and I think you know, I'll reserve judgment on it a little bit because a lot of these games didn't show gameplay, or only showed like in a 2-minute trailer showed like 5 seconds of gameplay and like an insufficient amount for me to get a sense for like what the game was. But yeah, I do feel like there's I wonder if there is well, it's weird because I forget I can't remember if it was a guy during Day of the Devs or one guy mentioned something. He was like inspired by blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, but that game just came out like a few months ago and you guys have obviously been in development for like 4 years. So there's no way that like this game was the inspiration for your, at any rate. You know, Expedition 33 is definitely going to kind of kick off a trend, but you know, there certainly seem to be games vectored in a certain direction, and I don't know what those things were caused by, but there definitely is it feels like we're going to take the Souls presentation or the Souls kind of objectives and goals or whatever and tune them to make more people interested in them, maybe. But I'm not sure what's causing it. But yeah, whatever's causing it, yes, there were a lot of games that were kind of that same veneer.
Yeah, again, it's funny you said that because and that's why I said swords, because I was thinking the same thing while I could watch some parts of the show. It was something I just kind of picked up on as well. Not all the games were like that, but there was kind of that like, well, wait a minute. I mean, Onimusha, right? That's another one. Lies of P, which is a Souls-like game, Code Vein 2, Mortal Shell. And then kind of like survival horror too. It's like another one that I saw quite a bit of.
While you're scrolling, but I did think it was super funny that the Sonic creator came out on stage and took a jab at Mario and said, unlike some other kart racer, we're going to have cross-platform matchmaking.
Shots fired. Well, I mean, like the guy, the developer for Splitgate, who said, I'm tired of every year
playing the same Call of Duty every year.
Playing the same Call of Duty every year, and I forget what he says. Our game, what do you say? Fucking kicks ass or something.
Yeah, he also kind of took a little bit of I couldn't tell if he was taking a jab at Halo or raising Halo in praise, but he said, I grew up on Halo. But I mean, it feels like the other half of that sentence is, and now there's not a Halo for me anymore, right? So we wanted to make this thing. So,
well, he also big shout out to oh my god, what is it? Titanfall. He goes, I didn't get a Titanfall 3.
Oh yeah, we wanted Titanfall 3.
Yeah, and everyone was like, yeah. Everyone went, God, I would like a Titanfall 3. Titanfall 2 was really good.
No, and that's a good point. Jason Ames, he says one comment, but he didn't say what I'm thinking, but he sent me, he reminded me that it was the thing I wanted to express. I felt like a lot of, like in years past, right? It almost feels like an evolution, right? Where for a period of time, we got a lot of very Western oriented games, right? Kind of taking us through Breath of the Wild and what is the follow-up to Breath of the Wild? Tears of the Kingdom, right? The code switch, right, in Breath of the Wild was that it finally, after years and years and years of Zelda, finally incorporated kind of Western design elements into it, right? And then you evolve that forward into Tears of the Kingdom. Now, this year in particular, this summer GameFest feels like a complete whiplash to everything is very Eastern in design to a great extent. Not everything, but like a bulk of the games that were shown.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, I mean, like Onimusha would be one. Well, I figured there was another game that Code Vein 2. I mean, it's geez, I can't remember now. Bandai Namco. Yeah, it's just interesting. I don't know if you picked up on that too, Doomsayer, like that. What me and Logic are talking about here, like some of the games shown that felt like very, I hate using the word samey, but third person action adventure, sword, Devil May Cry type gameplay, big bosses, things like that.
Well, what is it? You have Chronicles Medieval, and then Game of Thrones. Again, you guys are talking about swords and everything. Those two games, what was it? The one had Tom Hardy as he was telling you the story and everything. I'm excited about Onimusha, and if anybody knows, look at the main character very carefully, and if you kind of you kind of sit there and go, I know that guy. It's actually the main character that is in the newest Mortal Kombat movie. He was also in Deadpool, and he was also in the Karate Kid or the Cobra Kai thing. But yeah, I totally agree with you guys. But then I started looking at other stuff like End of Abyss. That looked amazing. It gave me Little Nightmare vibes. But it was, you had the character that was going around and, shooting and everything. And then the Mickey Mouse one, Mouse PI, that looked really cool. And Ill. I don't know if you guys saw the trailer for Ill.
Yeah.
That looked, I was like, oh my God, I gotta get that. But then there was also another one, but it's only going to be on Steam. I'm trying to look for it. Act of Blood, I think.
Oh yeah, that was one of my top 7.
That looked freaking awesome, Logic.
Very much kind of like a Sifu kind of feeling game. And I haven't pulled the thread on the exact martial arts style that was used, but it feels like it is something that I don't think it was Muay Thai, but it feels like it was something like that is regionally specific. It didn't just look like random martial art beat 'em up, but something that the developer actually practices or is very familiar with. But I was pretty excited by that.
Dragon a little bit. Maybe think of Double Dragon a little bit. The old beat 'em up games.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Because isn't that what Sifu is basically like a throwback to the beat 'em up games and everything? I have never played it, but that's what I looked, and I totally agree with you guys. It just seems like everybody's going to that Souls thing. Because what was it? Elden Ring sold so well. Wukong sold really good and everything. So it's like, hey, why don't we make a game just like that? But these kind of characters and everything else to see if it sells.
Yeah, I mean, my games of the show were Mortal Shell 2, Death Stranding 2 on the beach, Code Vein 2, Game of Thrones, War for Westeros, Onimusha Way of the Sword, Axe of Blood, and the Bonga game of the show for me, Wu-Tang Rise of the Deceiver.
Yes, Wu-Tang. Yeah. Oh, I was like, yes. I like that trailer. I was like, okay.
Yeah, that was my falling out of my seat moment in the show for me.
You know what was my falling out of the seat moment? Not just because of just pure like just entertainment and laughter. When they showed the trailer of Felt That Boxing, and I was like, oh my god, this is like the Muppets meet like Rocky.
Yeah, I mean, I mean, there's tons of games that I saw that like I thought their designs were interesting, but I'm like, okay, but the reality is I'm not gonna play that.
No, that Muppet, like the puppet, I guess I said that because it reminded me of kind of like the Muppets, and but literally like I guess the characters, like I guess he's the main protagonist. His boxing coach was like Mick from Rocky. He's like, all right, you little what he said, like, what do you call him? Like, you fuzzy shit, you little sack of fuzzy shit. And I was like, what is this game? I was dying, I was just laughing. I thought it was just very entertaining. But very interesting design. But yeah, go ahead, man.
Just two other quick games that I actually have a lot of interest in. My reading skills are horrible on this, but it's infinitesimals.
Infinitesimals.
Okay. Yeah, it's a bug. There's like warring bug factions going on. That looked really cool to me. And then there was this other one Into the Unwell. That looked really interesting. I'm reading here, it's a 1930s rubber hose style animation. I guess it's kind of like that Cuphead, kind of feel to it. But that looked really interesting for me. That's something I'll definitely dive into once it comes to PlayStation.
Yeah, there was another game that I thought was interesting too. End of Abyss.
Yes, yeah.
I thought that looked pretty interesting.
That looked amazing.
What was there was another game. Shoot, who's it? It's the studio behind RGG, the studio behind Like a Dragon. We saw Stranger Than Heaven, which I think they teased that back. It's called Project something. They teased it like I think last year.
Yeah.
And now we officially got Stranger Than Heaven. It's basically like, it looks like a Dragon, or the Yakuza series, like basically set in the 40s.
Yeah.
Yeah. How the hell did I miss that one?
I thought that looked interesting. I'm trying to think what other games stuck out to me, at least the ones that I caught. What do you guys think about Arc Raiders?
I
thought that looked kind of like, when they first showed that, it looked kind of interesting, but
I looked it up and I was like, does this have like a campaign so I can get, a feel for it? And there's no campaign to it. I'm like, there's no way I'm getting that. It's all PvE or PvP. So it's all multiplayer. There's no way I'll be able to stand with anybody on that one. Good luck for me.
Yeah, I've got room in my portfolio for one game as a service now, and unless I see something come along that's going to shake me loose from that, I don't see making time for anything else like that.
So no Splitgate 2 Battle Royale?
Nope.
That's live right now.
I mean, to be quite honest,
Slow playing that.
I'm sure he is, and I'm very impressed by Splitgate 2. To me, quite honestly, I worry that it would be overwhelming, and that it would be one of those games that I need to spend so much time in to get good that it just doesn't. It's just not something that I think will fit into my schedule. You got a super chat, by the way.
Oh, I do. Thank you, Logic. T-Rock with $5 super chat says Greenberg says temper expectations for the show this weekend, as the kids say, dead ass. I haven't seen anything Greeny said. I'm okay with him saying temper expectations. You know, we had Mag on last weekend, and I was asking him, I was like, have you heard anything? He's like, no, it's dead silent. He's like, not even a trickle of a leak or anything. He's like, they're holding this one close to the chest. I'm like, okay, we'll see what that means. But I'm looking forward to see what Xbox is going to show on Sunday.
Same here. Same here.
And then Keeley ends the show with I Got One More Thing. Resident Evil Requiem. I wasn't sure. I like when we started playing this trailer, I'm like, I had no idea what this was. And I was like, maybe this is where they started like doing like the flashbacks and stuff. Like, maybe this is Resident Evil, maybe.
Yeah, it was hilarious just before the show. I looked on Twitter and Wario64 had said, yeah, Resident Evil 9 needs more time to cook. I'm glad that they're taking some time. And then Daniel Ahmad, after that last trailer, quote tweeted him and said, yeah, that whole 20 minutes gave them the extra time they needed to push it over the edge.
That's funny. Amp, I'm definitely looking. The Wu-Tang Rise of the Deceiver. Yeah. Trying to think if there's anything else that Hitman World of Assassination.
Yeah, I didn't write it down on my list, but for my watch list, but I do have a separate note that says I have Hitman in so many different places. I need to, and I don't understand how it's all put together now. Like I'm sure that I have old versions of Hitman, but I'm sure somewhere I also have like this new unification Hitman thing that would give me the access to the Lashifa content. So I gotta dig around and find out which platform I have that on.
Yeah, Death Stranding too. I know you talked about that, but that comes out June 26th. I can't wait. Now, Dupes here, you have played Death Stranding, right?
No, I was just going to ask you. You've played Death Stranding, so
my goodness.
It's that good? BRAP, you're going to wind up killing me. I went out and bought the PS4 console, so I've had it since it's come, but I never played it.
So I don't even know how to describe Death Stranding. Look, it is
call it a walking simulator.
No, it's definitely more than a walking sim, but it starts off slow.
Okay.
And you'll see you actually if you read if you get people's thoughts online, just read what people have said about the game. One of the things you'll hear is like, oh, I couldn't stand it, and then I hung in there, and now I love it. Like that. That's a thing. I didn't quite feel that way. Like I liked it. It was slow, but there was just something about, I don't know, just there's something about walking around by yourself, and it's not just a walking simulator. Like you literally encounter the BTs, and so the game has elements of there's definitely stealth elements, things from Metal Gear. I'm not saying it's Metal Gear, but when you fight, I forget what they're called. They're like a campsite and you have to go stealth. So there's things like that. And then you go stealth with the BTs. There's that. And then if the BTs and then you have the baby crying and your little BT sensors going off. And if you're wearing headsets, it's very, very immersive, and it could get a little tense, Kojima's really good at creating feeling, I think, right, from when you're playing his games, and through sound, through the visual presentation, through so it's very much a Kojima game. There's some parts where you'll hear the character, you'll see characters talking, and you're like, wait, this doesn't make any sense, right? And I remember thinking to myself, this is one of those games I'm personally, I have to really pay attention to, so I don't lose out on any of the things that the characters are saying, or miss any plots, or miss any specific parts of the story that are important to the overall plot of the story. But T-Rock says I platinum Death Stranding. I can give you a detailed review. T-Rock loves the game. There are some very interesting characters, Doomsayer. Heartman, Die Hard Man, Fragile, which you'll see Fragile in the second trailers. I think Fragile is one of my favorite characters in Death Stranding. I know this sounds, when you hear me say this particular line that she has in the game, where she's like, "I'm fragile, but I'm not fragile." I'm like that just hit me for some reason. I know you're probably thinking like BRAP, like, what are you talking about? She just said, "I'm fragile, but not fragile." But if you understand like her story, her background, her story, and you build that relationship with her throughout the game, it makes sense, right? It's kind of her coming out of her shell and say like, wait a minute, no, like, yeah, I'm my name is Fragile, but I'm not fragile, you know. So and
is Death Stranding something that you're putting in like 100 hours into it, or you could, or is Death Stranding like, hey, you could probably complete the game in about 20 hours?
No, I don't remember. You might want to ask T-Rock that. I don't remember how many hours it took me to complete the game. But I will say this: there are moments in that game where like I'm at the edge of my seat because the BTs are around me, and they make this eerie noise, and they're shadow figures, and they're just like floating in the air. And when they come at you, the world gets flipped upside down. This black wave of oil or water or something overtakes you, makes it very hard to traverse. Like it's like you were like I was like, oh my god, I got to get out of here. And you see like this big whale or lion creature, and it is like it's, and of course like Slow-Mo always makes fun of like you actually make weapons out of your own pee.
Yeah, I remember him saying that. Yeah, like pee bombs or something like that.
Yeah, and that's a thing. But that's I think
you guys are giving me too many games, because then Mag last week sits there and says, you gotta play Guns, Gore, and Cannoli Part 2. You're telling me about make sure you play Death Stranding. My buddy who I contacted today, he's like, hey, he says, have you played Days Gone, the updated version? I'm like, no, why? He's like, oh my God, the horde mode zombie thing is out of control. He says, it is so freaking good. He says, I'll show you when you come up tomorrow night. So I'm like, Jesus Christ, man, I got to get on these games. I get stuck in a rut trying to, do other stuff. So I will get to these games. I promise you.
Yeah, and there's just like the voice acting in Death Stranding, production values. I mean, it's all done very well. Like it's a Kojima game. I mean, it is. There's a scene with Die Hard Man, and it's probably one of the more memorable scenes that I can remember in a game. And I forget the voice actor, Tommy something.
Oh, I know who you're talking.
But he's literally in tears. He's talking about like, and here's this person who's just cold and calculated, right? And then he just has this emotional breakdown, and just you get a little more insight into his character, and then you get like back, then you start figuring out who the BT, or not the BT, but the baby is that you're. There isn't a game out there like Death Stranding. Like it's one of those games where I could sit there and say like I haven't played anything like Death Stranding.
See, I'm very interested in Death Stranding too, so it's probably a good idea I play Death Stranding and then go get Death Stranding 2 after that. I mean, I like Kojima's games. I've played, I'm not going to say like the first 3 Metal Gears, but like Metal Gear 4, 5, that kind of stuff. And I don't mind the whole movie thing where, he really writes his games to be that cinematic, that real movie type game. And I don't mind sitting back and, watching like a scene for 15, 20 minutes or whatever, just because I'm a whole story guy. So I like that kind of stuff, get me engaged into the story and everything. So I will definitely get to this, because you guys got me, really interested in playing this now.
Hey guys, I apologize. I got to drop for another show.
Yeah, no worries, Lex. No, I appreciate you coming through, man.
Okay, thanks a lot. Talk to you guys
Logic,
later.
have a good
All
one.
right, man. See you.
See you, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
There's too many games you guys would wind up killing me saying, how the hell did you not play that? How did you not play that? I get killed all the time for that. I'm just slow.
yeah, I love it. I think Kojima's. I mean, you know, um, they're just no one makes games like him. So I don't know. Maybe worth a play, Doomsayer. You know, it does start off slow. I just warn you, a little slow.
Yeah, but
You know,
BRAP, okay, so did Days Gone start off slow for you?
so no, because like Days the hook with Days Gone for me was um was that it was post apocalyptic, and that's gonna hook me most of the times, right?
Okay.
And then when you find out, shit, I don't want to spoil it.
No. You can say whatever you need to say. It doesn't spoil the movie or the game or anything like
no,
that.
it does. I mean, when you
It does?
find out that someone is still around, it's like, oh shit, you know?
Yeah, the guy's wife is still living, right?
Yeah, and it's like, okay, I need to find her, and so that can be good. But I do think like with Death Stranding, it was not Death Stranding, Days Gone. I thought it was a little bit too. It was a little bit too long winded.
Okay.
That game probably could have ended a little bit earlier than it did. I liked it, but Kojima's it's just different, man. It's just a different vibe. I can't do it justice. Like I just can't. Like it's a different vibe. It's just very creative. The very memorable characters. This sense of like almost survival horror. Just what's that genre? I'm thinking about movie genre. Like almost like a psychological thriller at times. It's just and Troy Baker voice acting is great.
Yeah, I love him, man. He is in so freaking much.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, the way that you're describing Kojima, I look at him as like a film maker, but he's just doing video games. And that's how he translated movie making to video games, and that is how he crafted everything. I mean, he's the guy. Which Metal Gear was it? I think it was on the PlayStation 2 where you had, if your controller was plugged into slot 1, you were taking on, I don't know, it was one of the Psycho Manus, I think it was, and you had to pull the controller out and put it into slot 2 so the character wouldn't find out how your moves or something like that. He's the one that brought that up, right?
I don't remember.
Shit, I'll have to ask my buddy tomorrow night because he's played every freaking Metal Gear out there, and he's a big Kojima fan too. So I'll have to ask him tomorrow night. But anybody in the chat, let me know if I'm right or wrong in that. But Kojima came up with the idea called Cameron MGS. Okay. Yeah, see, I'm really interested in the story and everything with Death Stranding, because Mads Mikkelsen is in it. I think he's the protagonist in Death Stranding.
Yes, he is. But you could argue that there's some other protagonists in there too. No, he's not.
Okay.
Okay. I wouldn't say he's the main, but he's one of the mains. Like
Okay.
Troy Baker character is probably like the real baddie.
So is Troy Baker's character in the first Death Stranding? He's in the second Death Stranding with the guitar and everything?
Yeah.
Oh, shit. For a minute there, I thought he was actually a good guy. Shit. Mads is in it. Let's say that. T-Rock is definitely a Metal Gear
Oh,
fan.
T-Rock, yeah. He's definitely a big Metal Gear fan.
So he's a Metal Gear fan, and he loved Souls games.
Yeah.
Shit. And then he says he platinum Days Gone. Shit, man. Oh, I don't have enough time to play all these damn games, man. There's just way too much.
Yeah, there's just, I mean, that's part of my problem too. There's so much to play right now, and my time's been so limited right now because of work. You know.
Yeah, see, I'm gonna be right there with you with work, but then my son started swimming. So,
Oh, dude, your schedule is effed. That is a commitment.
BRAP, we sat there, we talked to one of the parents about putting them in through fall and winter, and the mother sat there and said, she's like, it's everyday practice, and then you're traveling to these meets, and they're about an hour to an hour and a half away, and my wife and I just looked at each other and was like, we're going to think about that. And then I mentioned it to my son. My son's like, oh, hell no. I'm not going that. I'm like, we'll figure something out. But yeah, it gets hectic, dude.
Yeah. So back to like Summer Games Fest. You know, like because my time is limited, I mostly focus on like, you know, the bigger AAA titles. But I thought there was good, nice variety of games shown here. Onimusha is up there for me, obviously.
Yeah.
The new Game of Thrones, game was like kind of piqued my interest. Code Vein 2 piqued my interest. And then new Resident Evil.
Yeah, that got my interest.
So yeah, so I thought it was, I didn't think it was a bad show. I'm definitely looking forward to Sunday though, to see what Xbox is going to show. Obviously, we'll see Call of Duty, right?
Yeah.
We'll see something Call of Duty related. I think we'll probably see some Blade stuff. I think we'll see Blade there.
BRAP, I'm going to make a statement, and it might upset anybody in the chat and that. But the way I'm looking at the Xbox showcase is what is coming to the PlayStation. That's all I need to know. Is South of Midnight coming? Hellblade's already coming. Gears is already coming. What else is going to be thrown to me on PlayStation? I can't wait to see Xbox's showcase. I'm very interested to see what's going to go on. Is Contraband in State of Decay? Are they making an appearance?
I don't know. It would surprise me to see those games, State of Decay 3. But I mean, you mentioned what's coming to PlayStation. I mean, that's not a. I don't think it's a fair statement because these games are coming to PlayStation. And that's how I kind of look at it too. Like, what's coming to PC, what's coming to PlayStation from Xbox publishing that I can play.
And I'm not trying
Xbox
to.
Game Studio. That's not a knock on Xbox,
right?
I
think Xbox has done an incredible job this year with I was listening to somebody's pre-show before Summer Games Fest, and they sat there and said, if it wasn't for Xbox this year, PlayStation would have nothing to play, which I disagree with that because there are other third-party publishers, but I think they've done an excellent job of putting their games and giving PlayStation players more to go out and buy and play those games. I mean, Forza, Indiana Jones, Doom, all that stuff. It's that's what a third party publisher is supposed to do. It's supposed to supply the console maker plenty of games and everything. That's not a knock on Xbox. Xbox is doing great.
I think we'll get Starfield, some kind of Starfield announcement from PlayStation.
Did you did play that, right?
Yeah.
Is that good because I'm not a huge
was
Bethesda kind of guy.
it was okay.
It was okay. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't get into their like artwork. I think it's every time I sit there and I see the characters, it looks like, you know, wax, like a wax figure is moving. I don't know what it is with me on that. But I'm definitely looking forward to the show on Sunday. There was some stuff on the barbecue, come down here at 1:00 and, you know, just sit there for 2 hours and watch it.
Trying to think what else might come to the Xbox show. I don't know. My brain is fried right now. My like I said, work's been nuts. That's all I got to say. Work's been nuts. But I don't know. I hope I can catch the stream live. If not, I know Moosh asked me if I could be on Cross, but I'm not sure if I'll be around.
Is he doing a thing on Sunday for that?
Yeah, he's streaming the show. I think he does it every year. Yeah. We did it one year where Crap was like drunk. It was pretty funny. Trying to think, like just going through my brain, I'm trying to figure out like what I don't know, like what else do they have?
We have Fable. You have what was it, Clockwork Revolution. I haven't seen anything for that for a while. They're doing the Outer Worlds 2 thing. Call of Duty is supposed to be there. I heard something about there might be a 4th Spyro game that they might be showing. And then somebody put out there something from Double Fine might be popping up too.
Oh, Double Fine, that would be cool. That would be cool. See something from them. Yeah. So I'm not sure if I'm gonna, like I said, do the live stream or if I'm gonna do my own stream or if I'm gonna be around. I don't know. You guys see what I got in my calendar. Yeah, I would be surprised if we see some like Halo announcement going to PS5. That would surprise me.
I really hope that does happen.
That in itself would be the biggest announcement, one of the biggest announcements.
And I'm not saying that to be again an asshole, but that's another game I really want to play on the PlayStation because I really want to dive into those trophies and that into there. So yeah, I'd love to see that. Plus, I think my son wanted to play Halo with me because a bunch of those are co-op games. So that'd be awesome.
Yeah,
he's really excited about the Gears. He's like, "When's Gears coming to PlayStation?" I'm like, "Here you go. It's coming in August." He's like, "All right, Dad." Are we playing together? I'm like, "Damn right we are. We already went through all of them, but we're going to go through all of them again. Once they start popping out, we'll start with one right here." So that's my my co-op partner.
Yeah, I can't say that I'm overly excited for Gear. You look, I think it's a nice get for PlayStation, but I can't say that I'm like super excited for I don't know. I'm just I've been there, done that, played it. I think it's a great get for PlayStation. People haven't played it, so
I think Halo coming to PlayStation would be or will be huge. That's something that's really going to, I think, sell on PlayStation.
Well, I mean, yeah, it's the tentpole franchise for Xbox. I mean, it's it's what most people associate the Xbox brand with, is Master Chief. It's kind of like,
and I don't know if you would agree. I think you would. It's one of the pinnacle first person shooters ever. I mean, with the story and everything, and then just even with the multiplayer and all that, it's so high up there and all.
Man, the idea of Master Chief being on PlayStation just blows my mind. Blows my mind. So, all right, Doomsayer. So, that's all I have for time right now, man. But because I'm gonna get some gaming in. I got any gaming, really that much gaming in this week. So,
Same here.
Yeah, but I want to give you a big thank you again, Doomsayer, for coming on the show, shooting the shit with us. Really appreciate it, man, as always.
BRAP, I appreciate you inviting me in that. And if you ever need somebody, just give me a call and let me know. I'll pop on with you.
Yeah, no, absolutely, man. Absolutely. I gotta go. What am I gonna do now? Oh yeah, never mind. I'm thinking out loud here. Anyhow. Dude, it's been that kind of week, man. I'm just like, I'm exhausted too. But anyhow, no, but big shout out to Game Logic, who joined us as well. And a big shout out to everyone in the live chat. Thank you everyone for coming out and hanging out with us this evening. And for those who watch the show, the replay later on, just remember, do the YouTube thing, hit the like button, consider subscribing, hit the bell notifications so you're alerted when we go live. And I don't know, I may do a rant this weekend, depending if I have time, about some of the other announcements that will be happening this weekend. And but again, no, thank you everyone for watching, and we'll catch you next time.
Have a good one, everybody.